White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs said today President Obama wants a final health care reform bill on his desk by the end of the year. Wanting and getting, of course, are two different things. There's still some tough battles ahead. Over the weekend, the House approved its version of a health care reform bill, including a public option. In the Senate, Majority Leader Harry Reid hopes to bring a bill to the floor by Thanksgiving. He's pledged to add a public option to it, despite the opposition he'll certainly face. Now, that got us thinking about where most of the uninsured live in this country and where their senators stand on health care reform. Randy Kay tonight is keeping them honest. Randy, you've been looking into this all day. What'd you learn?
Anderson, here's what we found out today. There are more uninsured in red states than there are in blue states, which is interesting since all Republican senators are expected to vote against the public health care option. Now, take a look at this map here behind me. According to the U.S. Census Bureau's latest numbers for 2008, these four states have the greatest number of uninsured residents. That's Louisiana, Florida, New Mexico, and Texas. In Louisiana, 20.1% are without health insurance. And then if you take a look at Florida, they're coming up next, 20.5% no health insurance. In New Mexico, 23%, even greater there. And in Texas, 25% of the population is not insured. Now, after digging into this, we found Republican senators in 3 of the 4 states are all against the public option for health care reform. Only New Mexico has 2 Democratic senators who support the public option. But in Louisiana, Senator Mary Landrieu, one of the most conservative Democrats in the U.S. Senate, we're told is, quote, very skeptical of the public option. Florida, which has 1 Democratic senator and 1 Republican senator, Anderson, is split on it.
What about Texas, the state with the most uninsured?
And also the children there, too, as well, are also uninsured. And if you look at the numbers for Texas, 1/4 of Texas's entire population is without health insurance. That's 6 million Texans, Anderson. The state's children are in really bad shape, too. The Census Bureau says about 1.3 million children in Texas are without health insurance, which is more, actually, than 18%. So if you look at those numbers, 18% in Texas compared to the U.S., 10.3% of children in the U.S. without health insurance.
All right, Randy, so where do the senators in Texas stand on health care reform?
That's what we want to know. Texas has 2 Republican senators, and keeping them honest, we called both. We wanted to know how the Republican senators in Texas would explain to their uninsured constituents that they're against the public option plan for health care. That's a key element that could derail health care reform. And remember, 1/4 of Texans are without health insurance. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson's people told us that she is in favor of health care reform but against the public option. Hutchinson calls the bill the House just passed over the weekend a, quote, terrible bill that hijacks our health care system. The senator says she will, quote, do everything in her power to prevent this bill and anything remotely similar to it from passing the Senate. Instead, she says medical malpractice reform and tax credits for people who purchase insurance will lead to more affordable and more accessible health insurance. Texas's other senator, Republican Senator John Cornyn, wants competition and choice. He has said a government-run single-payer system, Anderson, would drive insurers out of the market and limit competition.
So if in Texas, if the rate of uninsured dropped to like the national average, what does that mean for people there?
It would be pretty significant, it turns out, Anderson, if Texas could reduce its uninsured rate from 25% to 15% to match the national average. Another 2.4 million people in Texas would be covered. That's a lot of people. All right, Randy, different ways Republican and Democrats see the issue. Randy, appreciate it.
I'm not a crook.